morning students and welcome back to Alchemy online classes. Students, in our previous class we have learned about Quit India movement. We learned that in 1939 the World War was burst out and British forced Indians to be a part of World War II. This angered Indians and they refused to participate in World War. And in the year 1942, Congress under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi began Quit India movement. The aim of that movement to end the British rule in India. He encouraged people to support this movement and he has given slogan "Do or Die." But the government arrested many freedom fighters including Gandhiji and tried to support that movement. At that time, Subhash Chandra was the strong leader. He began the Indian National Army or the Azad Hind Force in the year 1942. The aim of that force or army was to get freedom from Britishers. The motto of that Indian army was unity, faith and sacrifice. And to motivate people, he has given slogan Jai Hind. But when Britishers came to know about the strong support of these two movements, Quit India movement and Indian Wins Freedom, after the Second World War in 1945, the Britishers realized that they could not longer support the freedom movement. They were not able to fight more with Indians because the Indians became too strong at that time. Because of hard protest of Indians in the year 1945, after the end of Second World War, in June 1945, the British realized now they could not longer be a part of India. They cannot rule India. So they realized that they can transfer power to Indians. So in June 1945, the Britishers transferred power to Indian leaders and informed Indian leaders new viceroy Lord Mountbatten was appointed. This was his responsibility to ensure a smooth transfer of power. But at that time, Muhammad Ali Jinnah asked for a separate nation for Muslims because the divide and rule policy of Britishers were too strong. Now also the Hindus and Muslims were fighting with each other. Because of that fighting, Muhammad Ali Jinnah asked for a new nation. And the result of that, India divided into two parts. One India only and the other part is Pakistan. So at that time, Muslims went to Pakistan and Hindus stayed in India. The British decided to divide country and British divided it into two parts. One is India and second Pakistan. So India got independence on 15 August 1947. At that time, India and Pakistan were the same country. So that is why after 1947, every year Pakistan is celebrating their Independence Day on 14 August and India is celebrating their Independence Day on 15 August. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister and Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first President of the independent India. Before that, there were no President or no Prime Minister. British were ruling India. As we discussed about partition of India and Pakistan, that was not a too easy decision. Britishers divided it into two parts and given one part to Pakistan and other parts to Indians, or we can say Muslims and Hindus. But that also create too much violence in India and Pakistan. The riots starts, people started murdering or bloodshed took place when India and Pakistan were divided their countries. The main reason of that, Muslims, they didn't want Indians to be a part of any country, and the Hindus were protesting against Muslims. The internal fights give rise to bloodshed and riots in India and Pakistan. At that time, many Indians were living in that state or that city where what wasn't part of Pakistan. So that Hindu has to travel along for coming India. And that was too tough for them, because whosoever was coming, Pakistanis were trying to kill them. And the same thing, in the response of them, many Pakistanis, many Muslims lost their life in that riots. Without any reason, many people suffer in that riots. Now we will read the relevant text from our course. India wins freedom. After the end of the Second World War in 1945, the British realized that they could not longer support the freedom movement. They agreed to leave India and transfer the power of the government to Indians. In February 1947, the British government declared that ruling power would be transferred to the Indians by June 1948. Lord Mountbatten came to India as the last viceroy to prepare plan for the transfer of power. The British decided to divide the country into two parts, India and Pakistan. India got independence on 15 August 1947. Jawaharlal Nehru became the first Prime Minister and Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first President of the independent India. So we can see that British came to know that they cannot rule more in India, and they agreed to transfer their powers to Indian government. For that, they create new and last viceroy to prepare plan and transfer of power. And the British decided to divide. The last thing also, divide policy. Divide the country into two parts, India and Pakistan. So on 15 August 1947, India got independence, and Jawaharlal Nehru became first Prime Minister and Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first President of India, independent India. So student, related to all this, you have to complete checkpoint 2. And in our next class, we will discuss more on it.